How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. The Rangers have put together 3 wins in a row in a series of games that I'm sure part of the fan base at least was worried about. Now, they did drop the game against the Florida Panthers, but since then, they've beaten Tampa Bay twice, and tonight they beat Edmonton. Now, Edmonton has not been playing great hockey lately, so you can call this game a win that, yeah, they should have had anyway, but a win's a win. And as of right now, when I'm recording this, immediately after the game, the Rangers are first in the league. They get the 2 points tonight to leapfrog the Capitals to first in the league. This team they are approaching legitness. And there are still things that this team should address, but this team looks good. And, you know, the lineup is not exactly the same as it was before the break when everybody was healthy, but it's working. And Georgiev was in net tonight, and he played a great game. So a win's a win, and this team is doing well, so let's be positive tonight. Lindgren and Rooney return from protocols. Panarin's still in COVID protocol, and this team still played pretty darn well. Not to say that Panarin's a problem on this team. He's absolutely not. We're going to be very excited when Panarin's back in the lineup. But to have this team playing well without Panarin is a good sign. The lineup tonight: Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, Lafreniere, Strome, Goudreau, Hunt, Hedl, Gauthier, Rooney, McKegg, Reeves, Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, and then Jones, Hayek for that third defensive pairing. And this is the only time I'm going to be negative in this video. Lundqvist is not in COVID protocol, as far as I know, and I could be wrong about that, but I did check Twitter, and apparently he's scratched. Why? Why is Lundqvist scratched? What does Hayek give you on the ice that Lundqvist doesn't give you and more? I know Jones-Lundqvist would be a very young defensive pair, but Hayek is a very inexperienced NHL player who is arguably worse than Lundqvist. So why is Lundqvist scratched? I don't know. But hey, Jones is in the lineup for the second straight game, so good for him. And then, of course, Georgiev in net. 15 seconds into the game, Koskinen takes a delay of game penalty. He just puts it right up into the netting. He's trying to help, and he certainly doesn't. First minute of that power play, very good, but the second minute was not. Third line had a very hard-working shift right after that power play, and then at 5:25, Lafreniere scores his second goal from a goalie miscue. He scored a goal in the first Tampa Bay game off of a goalie miscue by Elliott, and tonight he scores another one off a goalie miscue from Koskinen. Koskinen tries to play the puck, and I believe, who was it? Was it Gauthier? Somebody was with Koskinen, stripped the puck from him, gave it to Lafreniere. He gets an open net. Reeves and Draisaitl exchange big hits. Reeves hits Draisaitl first. Draisaitl comes back and says, hey, I'm not going to put up with that. Hits Reeves. So, very friendly game. Halfway through, McKegg McKegg gets tossed into the Edmonton net. And then Koskinen just stands in front of the net and doesn't let him leave, so McKegg pushes him, and he just completely flops on the ice. McKegg is 5'3", and Koskinen's 6'11", 6'14", towering, and he just flops on the ice. Like, get up. It's okay. You're fine. 7 minutes left in the period. Rangers controlling play, shot 6-3 in favor of the Rangers. Zibanejad had a beautiful takeaway at the offensive blue line. Edmonton spends a lot of time in the offensive zone for about the next 2 to 3 minutes after that. But the last minute was all Rangers. They come back strong. Both teams went about 7 to 8 minutes without a shot in the middle of this period. But by the end of the period, shots were 11-6 in favor of the Rangers. And the Rangers' face-off percentage after one period, 28.6%. Obviously, it didn't matter. You know, like, after the first period, McDavid was 0 for 4. in faceoffs. He was the only Edmonton Oiler who lost a faceoff in the first period. 7 different Oilers took faceoffs in the first period, and 6 out of the 7 were 100%. McDavid was 0 for 4. So the 4 faceoffs the Rangers won in the first period were won off of McDavid. So thank you very much, sir. We get into the second period. 48 seconds in, Lindgren takes a puck deflection to the side of the face. He goes to the bench, and he is fine. He doesn't go to the locker room. He just sits on the bench for a minute. He comes back onto the ice. He's fine. It's Ryan Lindgren. You could punch the kid in the nose, and he's going to keep playing. 3 minutes in, Georgiev makes 2 to 3 great saves right in a row. And then at 3:49, Gaudreau scores a goal. Or Gaudreau, just so we can distinguish him from Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau scores a goal. Very fast forecheck, pass to the slot from Lafreniere. He puts it in the back of the net. 6 minutes in, there's a scrum in front of Georgiev. The puck rolls right through the crease. If it had been 2 inches closer to the net, it probably would have went in, but it scoots right through. 6:26, Cuckoo takes a holding penalty. And then 31 seconds into the power play, Kakko takes a hooking penalty. It was hooking, but it was a little weak. So we get 1 minute and 29 seconds of 4-on-4. Miller is led into the slot by a good pass for a chance, and then Zibanejad rings one off of the crossbar. And then they kill off the 30 seconds of Edmonton power play at the end of all of that. The Rangers get a 3-on-1 right after that, but overpassing leads to no shot. And when you have a 3-on-1, you at least need to get a shot on goal. So halfway through, Gauthier has an offensive zone takeaway and a net drive. Classic Gauthier. Strips the puck, takes it to the net, but he doesn't score. 7:45 left, Reeves to McKegg almost goes in. That would have been a fantastic goal. And then at 14 minutes, McLeod scores the only goal for the Edmonton Oilers. And then Edmonton controls the rest of that second period. I'll rephrase. They don't control the period, they control the puck for the rest of the period. Rangers played pretty well defensively, keeping their chances to the outside, letting Georgiev see the shots, blocking a lot of shots. Blocks 22-3 in favor of the Rangers for this game. So I won't say Edmonton controlled the play. They controlled the puck. But Fox was part of a 2-on-1 at the end of a 2+ minute shift, and he was just out of gas. But in the final seconds, McDavid gets his stick into Trouba's face, and Trouba knocks him down, which was nice to see. And the Rangers they needed an intermission, not because they were just flailing about and playing on their heels, but just they needed to stop Edmonton's from gaining any sort of momentum, which, worked. Shots 14-12 for Edmonton in that second period. We get into the third, 2:20 in, McLeod takes a tripping penalty, and then 1 minute and 12 seconds into that power play, Kreider scores his 20th goal of the season. A mark that he has gotten to for now the 7th time in his career. The 7th time he has scored 20 or more goals in a season. His personal best is 28, which I'm sure he will beat this season. We are, they're 22-8-4, so 34 games into the season, and he already has 20 goals. I'm pretty sure this will be a record-setting year for Chris Kreider. It was a tip in front, and it looked like Koskinen had it, and you could see the ref on the replay bring the whistle up to blow it dead. Luckily, the puck scoots into his view before he's able to blow the whistle, rolls right into the net for a Rangers goal. 6.5 minutes in, a very fast forecheck leads to a Lafreniere chance. He had a very good game, a goal and an assist. He was the second star of the game. 8:05, Yamamoto takes a slashing penalty, and then at 9:43, Trouba takes a high sticking penalty. So we get another 4-on-4 for 22 seconds. Georgiev makes a huge save on McDavid during that penalty kill, and the place went nuts. They were chanting Georgie or Gorgie or whatever they were chanting. They were chanting his name after that because it was just a beautiful glove save to rob McDavid. And then at 14:11, Strome scores a goal. It was a cross-slot pass. He was trying to get it over to the other side of the net, but it ends up deflecting off of Barry's skate and into the back of the net. Rangers go up 4-1, and Edmonton is not thinking happy thoughts at that point. 17:20, Fogle takes a high sticking penalty. Rangers don't end up scoring on that power play, but it pretty much takes them to the end of the game. Georgiev gets another win on the season, so good for him. The Rangers get another win on the season, so good for them. They are now 22-8-4. They have not yet reached 10 regulation losses yet in the season, which is fantastic. This team is sitting currently first in the league. With 48 points, right? Yeah, 48 points, top of the league. That won't last very long, but hey, they've been top 5, top 6 in the league pretty consistently. So this team, we've been asking the question, is this team legit pretty much every single week since this season started? And the needle is starting to stay on the yes side of that answer. They are about to go on a 5-game road trip, which will be very telling. The Rangers are back in action Thursday in Vegas. I believe they start in Vegas. That's Thursday night. And we'll see what they can do over these next 5 games. So, hey, 3 wins in a row. We're going to take that. I looked back over these last 4 games. So starting with the Florida game, the 2 Tampa Bay games, and then tonight. The Rangers have scored 15 goals. 3 against the Panthers in that loss. They scored 4 apiece in the 2 Tampa Bay games, and they scored 4 tonight. So that's 15 goals. 9 of them, and I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct, 9 of those 15 goals have come at even strength. Come on. Like, that's almost 2/3 of their goals are coming at even strength. And before the break, we were complaining that the Rangers can't score 5-on-5. Over these last 4 games, they've scored 5-on-5 pretty consistently. The power play helps them out tremendously, but they've also scored 5-on-5. So that's one of the top 3 problems that we've had with this team that seems like it's getting fixed. And that's a really good sign moving forward because the Rangers can't rely on their power play. Edmonton relies very heavily on their power play, and if you don't take a lot of penalties against them, they're not going to win. And the Rangers are moving away from that mode of winning, which is really nice to see. Stats at the end of the game, shots 28-34 in favor of Edmonton. Face-offs 38.2% for the Rangers, not great, but again, it's not about total percent of face-offs won, it's about winning the right face-offs. Power play went 1 for 5, hits 29-12 in favor of the Rangers, blocks 22-3 also in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the evening, who are the only 2 Rangers to record 50 or more power play points in a single season? I got one of them right, so I'll pat myself on the back for that. The first one is Brian Leetch, and he did it twice, unsurprisingly. It's Brian Leetch. He had 53 power play points in the 93-94 Cup winning season, and he also had 51 in 1990-1991. Jaromir Jagr was the other one, and that's the one I got right. He had 52 power play points in 2005-2006. So there you go. Another win in the books for the Rangers. They are back in action Thursday evening in Vegas. A team that they dropped a shootout to not so long ago. We'll see if they can reverse their luck and string together 4 wins in a row for the 3rd time this season. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.